The girl heads to a playground just 50 feet away, 50 feet. Mommy never sees the girl alive again.
The world is filled with mysteries. Like, what's up with the Bermuda Triangle? What is the government really hiding in Area 51? And who built the Stonehenge and how? On top of these mysteries, every day hundreds of people go missing. And sadly, not all of their disappearances get solved. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the Top 10 Scary Times People Disappeared Part 2. If you haven't seen Part 1 of this series already, then make sure you watch that video out as well. Starting off this countdown, we have Owen Parfit. This case is truly baffling. One day during the summer of 1763, 70-year-old Owen Parfit was sitting on his porch waiting for his sister when he suddenly disappeared. What's odd about this is that Owen was paralyzed and couldn't move without assistance, meaning he couldn't have just walked off by himself. Someone would have had to come and get him. Because of his paralysis, he often spent his days lying in bed or on the chair outside. His sister claims that she left him sitting near the doorway in his usual spot with a coat draped over him. When she went to go move him, he was gone. There were plenty of witnesses, but none reported seeing anything unusual. So now there's a legend in town that Owen was took by the devil as a payment for his sins in his past life. In our ninth spot, we have Paula Weldon. On December 1st, 1946, Paula Weldon, a sophomore at Bennington College, disappeared while on a hike. Apparently, she was walking the trail by an elderly couple. They claimed that she was about 100 yards in front of them. However, she turned a corner, and when they reached the same corner, she just disappeared. She was nowhere to be seen, and no evidence has ever been found. Now, at the time of her disappearance, Paula was wearing a bright red jacket. And what's weird is that a couple years later, another person wearing a bright red jacket went missing in the same area. It may just be a coincidence, but it's a pretty freaky one. In our eighth spot, we have Dennis Martin. During the summer of 1969, Dennis Martin went on a camping trip with his family. It was something that they did every Father's Day. Every year, all the men in the family would go to the Smoky Mountain National Park to camp. During this trip, Dennis and his brothers decided they wanted to prank the adults. So they all planned to jump out at different sides to scare them. However, shortly after the prank, they realized that Dennis was missing. He apparently was hiding in the bush near the site and mysteriously vanished. The search for Dennis became the largest in National Park Service history, but still Dennis was never found. The only possible lead was that apparently another family saw some bear man with something slung over his shoulder. It was about the size of a small child, and that could have been Dennis. Coming in at number 7, we have Cynthia Anderson. On August 4th, 1981, Cynthia Anderson left for her work at a law firm in Toledo, Ohio. When her employers arrived, they found Cynthia's car in the parking lot, but Cynthia was nowhere to be found. What's freaky is that there was a novel on her desk that was left open to a page about a kidnapping. So people thought that she was kidnapped. What's even freakier is that a year prior, Cindy apparently had reoccurring dreams about her being abducted and murdered by a stranger. Now, people believe that one of the attorneys that worked at her law firm had something to do with her disappearance. A month later, he went to prison for dealing drugs. Authorities think that Cynthia knew about this and was kidnapped and then killed to prevent her from leaking the information. But we still don't truly know. Making our way down the list, at number 6, we have Brian Shaffer. Another super puzzling disappearance. On April 1st, 2006, Brian Shaffer disappeared without a trace. At 1:15 a.m., he went to a local bar with his friends, but he never came out of the bar. He just seemingly disappeared. Security footage of the area showed that Brian never exited the bar. The police even searched the alleyways, nearby trash cans, and rivers, but nothing turned up. So, where is he? Well, some people think that he's still in the bar somewhere. Other people are convinced that he was killed in the bar and the workers covered it up. Then you also have a theory that he was targeted by the smiley face killers. Basically, the smiley face killers are said to be a group of people that would target and kill white college-aged men. All of these victims were drowned and found with a smiley face graffitied nearby. But like many of these disappearances, we don't know what truly happened to Brian. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Maria Elizalde. On Thanksgiving Day in 2015, 15-year-old Maria Elizalde went missing. While her family was preparing food, Maria and her 2 cousins were out playing. At 9 p.m., her stepdad saw all 3 of the girls playing in the yard. A few minutes later, when they were called for dinner, only 2 of the girls came. Maria was nowhere to be found. Apparently, she just vanished from the front yard. Surveillance footage on the street revealed nothing. No one saw her disappear and no one knew what happened to her. In our fourth spot, we have Karina Lynn. On November 21st, 1987, 26-year-old Karina Lynn Sager Malinowski mysteriously disappeared. Her car was found parked in front of the Mount Holly plantation. Now, this is where the case gets weird. A year later, on October 4th, Karina's 8-year-old daughter also disappeared. While on her way to school, she went missing at the bus stop in front of the Mount Holly plantation. A note at the bus stop read, "Dad, Mama, come back. Give the boys a hug." And handwriting experts have stated that it was indeed written by Karina's daughter. Now, it's thought that Karina ran away and returned to take her daughter with her, but they still can't figure out why she left her 2 sons and her old life behind. In our third spot, we have Hannah Up. Now, this case is pretty odd for one reason. Hannah disappeared multiple times. The first time she disappeared was in 2008. She went out jogging when she mysteriously vanished. 3 weeks later, she was found floating in New York Harbor, but she didn't remember how she got there or what happened. It was later found out that she had dissociative fugue, which is a rare form of amnesia. In September 2013, she disappeared again. Then again in September 2017. On September 16, 2017, construction workers found her car at a beach. Her car contained clothes and her keys. Unfortunately, Hannah was never found. In our second spot, we have Douglas Legg. On July 10th, 1971, 8-year-old Douglas Legg was with his family out for a hike. His uncle noticed poison ivy on the trail and told Douglas to head back to the cabin to change into long pants. Douglas turned back to change, but he never returned. Now, Douglas was said to be like a mini woodsman. There was no way he would have gotten lost, and the cabin was just a short, straight walk from where they were. On top of that, he was familiar with all the trails because they hiked them so often. Search dogs tracked his scent over 30 miles through difficult terrain. The parents thought that there's no way that he would have just wandered off that far. Now, they originally thought that maybe a bear got him, but it was concluded that a bear wouldn't drag their prey over 30 miles away. So his family is convinced that their friends had something to do with his abduction, but we still don't truly know. And in our number 1 spot, we have James Tetford. In the 1940s, James Tetford and his wife both went missing. So first, his wife went missing. James claims that she went to the market but never returned. Then a few years later, James went missing in Bennington without a trace. Now, what's weird is that there have been numerous unsolved disappearances in Bennington, James and his wife being one of them. So in 1949, James was on a bus to meet his family. He was reportedly seen on the bus by 14 of the passengers. But when the bus reached its destination, James was gone. But the bus driver and all the passengers all said they never saw him leave the bus. His belongings were still on the bus, but James disappeared without a trace. And that's all for today's video. Let's move on to our comment shout-out portion. I'll be shouting out comments from my video, Top 10 Kids Cartoons That Are Actually Terrifying. Noah Schwartz commented, "The only Scooby-Doo monster that scared me was the cat creatures from Zombie Island." Thank you. That movie gave me nightmares. I don't know why it creeped me out so much. Like with the zombies and the, I don't know, they were like werewolf cats, those evil little sisters, Lena or whatever. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Yeah, it's pretty scary. And you know what made it scarier is the fact that they were real. Like the movie made them real. They weren't, you can just like rip off the mask and it's like, oh, old man Jenkins. No, they were real. Gorilla Progress commented, "Shaggy and Scooby always run side by side when fleeing in terror from a monster. If a Great Dane's top speed is 30 to 40 miles per hour, that means Shaggy can run the same speed. This means Shaggy is the fastest human alive, beating Usain Bolt's record of 27 miles per hour." And that's exactly what I needed to hear today. You go, Shag, you go. RMA Steph commented, "I remember Angela Anaconda. Came on at 3:15 every day after school before Lizzie McGuire." Lizzie McGuire, though? That show was good with Hilary Duff. Oh, man. I wish they did follow through with the remake version. Really miss that show. And that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see you.